Yeah, I saw you have a Twitch. Do you do that on Twitch? The
Yeah,
live?
it's on Twitch and YouTube. And the
And
Twitch
then
one, I think, just lives for a week, and then the YouTube lives unless we pull it down.
Forever.
Yeah. And if you accidentally say something that you don't want out there, just say so and we'll just like yank it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
ooh. But the way this cuts my hair off
You're not,
it looks like I have a new my hair's like combed, which that's what
it doesn't look cut off on my end, but I don't know what your hair looks IRL,
and then
so.
if you don't see I look very groomed.
Yeah, you look like a founding father at the moment.
Yeah. But I mean if you don't but then I have this too. What am I doing here? All right. Have you guys seen Cocaine Bear?
No,
Oh,
I
I actually
haven't
saw
seen
it by your house. I saw it at the theater by you're
Oh,
Oh
still
yeah.
what's Josh's address again?
Adam.
To tell to the world.
Are we live?
We
Yeah,
are
yeah.
live.
What is it? Lawrence? Is it Lawrence? I have it on my phone. We can't dox. No doxing? How much
No,
doxing can we do?
Just a little bit, just for fun.
Just a little
I'm
bit.
good. It's almost 420. We're gonna hot docs.
I know. Should we get into it? Should we clap it out?
Yeah. Oh, before we do, hey Den, have you ever listened to or watched the podcast?
Yeah, I've seen it on YouTube.
Okay, so it's like a book club style. You just
Yeah.
like
It looks
talk about
pretty
the thing.
informal. You don't have do you right? Just like back and forth. You don't have like segments or
Totally
not
loose.
blocked out or anything like that.
No,
Okay.
no, no.
No, but we do have the super stressful countdown at the end where you fight for your life.
And try and come up with an ending to say goodbye. It's horrifying.
Something that we put ourselves through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a good ending point, a blackout line, you mean? Like that kind of
Yeah, like
We're bad at it.
we haven't like sort of even loosely scripted our regular sign off.
Oh.
So like at the end of each one, it's just like, let's do like
Ooh, bye.
so look forward to that.
Okay.
Oh, and before we get into it, how would you like to be introduced? First name only, full name, anything about your background that you should be like, a sort of mini bio, or do you want to just be like, and welcome Aden, or and welcome Aden go to Ron?
Yeah, you could say my full name.
Okay. Do you want,
I like how you pronounced it. You could do it that way.
is that wildly off?
No, there is no correct way, but I liked how you said it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm here. I think part of the reason I'm here is because I work at the Museum of TV. So, and that's how
I,
that's how I even heard of this show.
I mean, I think that's interesting. I think that like if you're by virtue of having worked there, like you have
I
cool
am a,
insights that what?
well, I'm just saying, I'm not in the curatorial department, but I've worked with them. I consider myself a TV historian, curator, just from working there for so long and learning about it.
But you're also like an improviser. You're a lot of things. You're a musician. You could like
Yeah.
we could talk about all of that, some of that, or none of that as you like.
Can we talk heavily about these are for sale for $14. Oh shit, I just broke it. I gotta go. I broke my Ziggy.
Oh no.
I broke my Ziggy.
It happens.
That means that the glue, I mean, it just glued. All right. Christmas is canceled.
Again.
As always.
I could plug my Ziggies, I'll do it at every couple minutes.
Yeah. Every 5 minutes on the 5.
I need a new Ziggy.
Ziggy's on the 5.
Oh, did I even show you? I made a set of Kiss Ziggies.
Oh, dude, you should send all of them to Joanna.
Yeah,
Our friend Joanna has this great photo of herself at age 6 in full Kiss makeup.
What's her address?
Right?
she lived. I don't know where she lives.
I think she's in Connecticut.
Okay, right. Oh, in some beach house.
In a beach house?
All right, come on, guys.
All right, let's clap it in. Let's clap it in. Let's clap it in.
Woo! 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 Woo!
What's up, guys? It's On Fire Tonight with Josh and Tressa. We are here today to talk about Kolchak the Night Stalker, Season 1, Episode 1. And we are joined by our very special guest, Aiden Gotaran, who is a television historian, a comedian, an improviser, a musician, a man of letters. He is also selling casts of Ziggy that he has made, as well as Baby Palpatine. Check him out at Greedorium on Instagram. Welcome, Aiden. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for asking me. This is fun.
All right. Just to get us situated and started, tell us your whole life story.
Start with birth.
Nixon was the president.
Mm-hmm.
And he was there when I was conceived.
Wow.
And I just noticed the background. That's awesome. You took the Kolchak's newspaper. I just noticed that like right now.
I'm very proud of our backgrounds.
Oh, and you did like a typewriter font? Yeah, that's not your regular logo, right? You customized it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for you.
Nice. Very nice.
Check out the sweet ones for Misfits of Science and Max Headroom.
No, I totally will. I'm psyched to be here, and I'm glad that you took me up on the offer, because this is an interesting show that I just realized it was just one season, because it's a talked about show, or people are really into horror and stuff, and kind of supernatural stories and stuff, refer to this show a lot, but it's pretty much forgotten.
This is one I'd never seen previously. Oh, by the way, just a quick, guys, this is your one and only warning. We're going to spoil the episode by talking about it. If you haven't seen it already, pause this, watch that, come back. You're back. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Okay. This show is really, first of all, having just watched the first episode, The Ripper, it's fucking awesome. And like, I was reading a little bit about how it inspired the X-Files, and I totally get it.
Oh my God. He's like Chicago's Mulder. I love him. Did you say I did not look into this at all. I just watched the first episode and was like, oh shit, yes. Did you say there's only one season? Is that what's happening?
I'm pretty sure I think it said 74 to 75, which usually means.
Yeah, there were 2 TV movies. The first one was like a huge, like, international success, where it was like released everywhere and everyone was into it. And then there was a sequel to that, and then a season of this.
Stuck with one season again. All the best shows. God damn it.
So why don't we I bet most people don't know the show at all.
Yeah.
So why don't we just describe it a little bit in general? Because I think I've actually seen 2 or 3 episodes. So,
oh shit.
Well, hello.
You're digging deep already.
It's about this reporter in Chicago who works for a news service, not a newspaper, but
an independent news service, no less.
It's called Independent News Service, right? INS.
Yeah.
So he's a dogged, is that the right word? Reporter who basically has a real clear motive. He wants to get the story. He like thrives. He like lives to get the story. He anything that gets in his way is torture to him. He wants to. He's like, gotta
even
get
a stupid, super fat lady.
Yeah.
Right. Who, by the way, does not look terribly fat to me. He orders like 17 things at lunch, and he's like fucking Like that is the most upset we see him the whole episode is watching her order
Fucking
lunch.
fat ladies.
Because
Oh,
her,
gross.
her
This
ordering is stopping him from getting the story. So he keeps running into. He's just like a regular guy, kind of disheveled. What is it? What kind of suit is that? A seersucker
Yeah,
suit?
that's for
Yeah,
sure.
he's got a
Seersucker.
seersucker suit. He's got like his
Straw
fucking
hat.
I'm a cool Chicago dude hat,
It's like
and he's wearing sneakers.
the horse. It's like a guy who would be spent all day at the track or something. I don't know. It's
Oh,
like
yeah, for
Yes!
fedora,
sure.
but it's like a wicker fedora or
Uh-huh.
all that.
Yes.
Dude completely blew everything on the ponies. Right? Like
Yes.
And,
he's
uh,
hanging out with like Jim Rockford eating
Thank
tacos.
you. That's what I was saying. And Andy was like, no, this guy's too skeevy for Jim Rockford. I was like, Jim Rockford is skeevy.
and yeah, and he keeps running into supernatural things just by accident. He's like he's not see it doesn't seem to have like a particular interest in it. It's just a good story, right?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it's not like he's really into the occult or the or weird stuff. He's just stumbles onto these
he's
things.
just like a regular Joe. Like they beat that like over and over again. He's such a regular Joe. He comes in whistling, he throws his hat that doesn't hit the thing,
Oh, it
and he
just
doesn't
falls to the
care.
ground. And he's got a real ball buster boss that we can all relate to.
Just mad about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so he hears about this story or there's murders happening, and then but his boss demotes him for the week because their advice I didn't get that. So he gives him another job. He says you can't do the big story. You have to read these letters that usually go to Emily,
Mhm.
and they're like advice. It's like an advice column, but it sounded like he was going to write letters, and then he said mail them to the person.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
he totally told him like respond to all of them that have like an envelope enclosed.
What? No, I don't care what year
it
this
sound
is.
like your job.
That doesn't
Yeah.
happen. No.
Is-
Maybe you're lucky enough to see it in the paper, but you would never expect a response back from Dear Emily.
Right? Like, is Dear Emily some sort of like super fan thing where like, you know, people signed up for Miss Emily and she's gonna personally send them these
That seems more of a subscription service than just to write a letter to some bitch.
Miss Emily doesn't make sense to me. I don't
No.
get it.
Mm-mm.
Maybe she's in other episodes where yeah, who knows?
Mhm.
But
Also, there's a guy named Updike who he only calls Uptight, and
oh,
I
yeah.
think he's supposed to be gay coded.
Yeah, I didn't notice that till the end of the second viewing. I was like, oh, they're making him gay, kind of.
I'm not sure if he's supposed to be gay or just like
Well, he's very
He's
stuffy.
delicate.
He's 1974 gay.
He's Truman Capote.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So,
dandy.
and the other big thing is that the star is Darren McGavin.
Yeah,
I think
Aaron
was a character.
McGavin. That guy's done it all.
Yeah, so before you got it. So his most famous thing is probably Dad in the Christmas Story, but he actually was he on that Twilight Zone the movie,
Was he?
Oh, I think he was.
like the family with the superpowered kid. Was he or
I think he was. I can't say for sure because I'm not looking
he's
at
one of
it,
those
but I
character
think
actors
so.
that wasn't everything? Did anyone else look him up?
I did like some quick light Googling. I saw that David Chase wrote for this series.
Oh yeah.
Who's David Chase?
The guy
mean,
who
for our
created The
listeners.
Sopranos.
Oh, I don't know.
David Chase created The Sopranos as well as like 20 other things that took over the world. But in the early days, he did things like write for this show.
Good for him. It's a great show.
Oh, yeah, Darren McGavin was in a bunch of things, including Billy Madison.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
too.
he was on the commish for 2 episodes, but then he was also on 2 episodes of the X-Files, which is the reason we know about Kolchak. Because so the reason I know about it, because I work at the Museum of Television, which is now called the Paley Center for Media, and also known as the Paley Museum. And we
That's
did
not confusing at all for people trying to find
no, and they made
that
the
museum
to make it not confusing, and here we are. But we did screenings years ago for horror, and this was one of them, and I never heard of it before. And a big part of it was they said Chris Carter, the creator of X-Files, this was a huge influence on him. And I definitely feel it, especially in the end, which I have stuff to say about that when we get to it.
Yeah.
But I
you
think,
can jump to like we're not sort of we
It
don't
doesn't-
need to like break it down like
It doesn't
Okay.
need to
if
be
you want to
linear.
jump to it, like jump to it.
well,
But
I know
wait, but first I want to say, like X-Files, they should have just kept him as Kolchak.
He didn't want to. I read
Oh, really?
that they asked him to be Kolchak,
Aw, that
and
bums
he
me out.
preferred to just be a different character.
That's too
yeah,
bad.
it says Agent Arthur Dale. So
Yeah.
he yeah, I didn't know that till right now. I wish. Did you guys watch that episode, or did
No,
you?
I just
No.
read right just now on IMDb that he was on that.
um, but he was also on the TV show Fudge.
What's that?
I don't know. There's a TV show called, look, might be a kids show. It's called Fudge.
I'm sorry,
Um,
I interrupted you. You wanted to say something about the end that reminds you of
well, actually,
X-Files.
I think there's a lot of stuff to talk about before that.
Okay.
One of them, okay, so the episode's called The Ripper.
Mhm.
And that is kind of a trope that they do. There's other episodes called The Vampire, The Werewolf. So they treat a ripper as a like type of monster, which I don't think I've
Right.
ever heard of anyone call a ripper. A serial killer, that's a little different. And
But
then
he's immortal, so
Right. He's like a deathless
you
killing
find that
machine.
out, and he can jump really high, and he can just kick ass.
Right.
Yeah.
You can only ever see the back of his head, and he wears an opera cape at all times.
that's the scariest part.
Yeah, he's like yeah, I mean, he kind of seemed like a Dracula. Like he dressed kind of like a count of olden days or something.
But he's got a walking stick, and he's got the same shoes that he bought 100 years ago.
Uh-huh. I mean, he only
I don't know
wears them at
when he
night,
gets time
so
to like do his dry cleaning or anything like that, but he looks
stinks.
impeccable.
I mean, yeah, but okay, is he squatting in that house or has he owned it for 100 years? Because that house was disgusting.
Oh, right.
Sheets on the furniture. I'm jumping ahead. Okay.
Well, the real break in the case,
Uh-huh.
like early on, Kolchak reads a Dear Miss Emily letter about this guy who's like a creeper with X-ray eyes. And he disregards it the way he does all of this Miss Emily bullshit.
Mhm.
And then it's like 2/3 of the way through the episode, he's like, wait a minute. And
She
has to like
says
go back
something.
and find that letter. Did
In
you write
that
it
letter,
down?
yeah, in that letter to Miss Emily or Dear Emily or whatever, she's like, what's this guy's deal? Is he gonna like kill me? Is he gonna make me sterile? Ma'am, you are like 80. I guarantee you are already sterile. But you know what? It's 1974, so maybe she's like 42. I don't know.
It's just styles.
Hmm. Hmm.
Also, it's the Midwest. We're used to seeing things that like take place in Los Angeles.
That's true. I do want to mention real quick that the first two victims of the show in Milwaukee, the first one was a dancer and whatever is something
Yeah,
like
he says whatever.
and the other one I wasn't paying attention because the sign next to the door she was walking out of said Miss Physical Therapist Contestants Only. I don't know what is that?
Well, this show definitely I mean, they were strippers, dancers, and then also like massage parlor, seems like anything goes kind of place. Those were I
Good
mean, they had
times.
the menu on the board, and I mean, we see the woman stripping, and she's topless. Which I don't think you don't see the back of a woman on network TV these days, and I
Right?
saw it much in the '70s either. You saw a little bit of side boob, which
What?
I
I'm
didn't
going
see
back and
side.
watching
gosh,
it
Yeah,
again.
right?
how could
Pause.
you miss that? The
I fucked
70s
up, you
TV.
guys.
Me too,
What are we
Josh.
even
It's not
doing
just,
this
I don't
podcast for
know.
if I'm missing side boob?
That should have been our background.
Oh, it was called. I wrote it down. The club is called the Boom Boom Room that we see.
Yes, the Boom Boom Room. And then
Nice.
later, everything seems to be going down at the Sultan's Palace.
Mm-hmm.
That's the massage parlor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're all wearing kind of I Dream of Jeannie
Yeah,
outfits.
yeah, yeah.
So I love the Rippers, who never get the name, but they call him the Ripper. Oh, and then all the stuff with the Jack the Ripper did supposedly write, the real one wrote letters to the press.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then there were a lot of imitators, and then there's this one that they think was from the guy, and right. And that's the one where it's the From Hell
Right.
sign off comes from, and that's what Alan Moore used for his series.
There's stuff like scrawled on the walls, like near where the killings took place, all in Whitechapel, if I'm correct.
Oh, that's what happened with the real Jack the Ripper.
I think so.
Did
I
he
think
write
so.
all? Well, that so yeah, they're making like all these allusions to Jack the Ripper.
So, like, okay, Kolchak is like really hot for this case, even though his boss is like, this is assigned to someone else, don't do this. So
Mm-hmm.
he ditches his real job to follow this case. He runs into Jane Plum
Oh, that
at a
super
press
fat lady.
conference. Right. She's described as incredibly fat, although when you
It's
see her,
just
she
that
just looks like
old
a
lady
normal
calls
woman.
her fat, right? Sorry.
Yes,
Yes.
I don't know. She was
Think of
fat.
her fat at all, but the old lady says, "I saw it was a fat lady."
Look,
So,
there ain't nothing wrong with being fat, but that woman was not fat in the
No,
least
she
bit.
wasn't.
I would guarantee she is at a normal, healthy BMI, which is also bullshit. But there is no fucking way that woman is fat.
also, what we see as fat today versus what people described as fat in the 70s are
Mm-hmm.
different. Like everyone was on
Oh
speed in
yeah,
the 70s. So like
100%,
if you weren't a skeleton, you were fat.
100%. But I'm still gonna call that shit out. Come on.
Um, I
Oh, so
okay, yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just made some notes here. I loved the Ripper's cane and his weapon.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
great.
guess it was a walking stick. It had it had like a golden devil head on the handle. That's what you kept seeing because he was always in shadows, but that would stand out. And then, but he would kill people with this sword. It was basically a sword. It was like 2 feet
Yeah.
long, but he would stab them with a blade that was like this. I can't get it on the screen. It's too big to even get on the screen. With a sword, he would like stab with. I think that's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, it was unnecessary. Slash, don't stab.
Yeah. Well, he got the job done. I mean,
Yeah, I did.
he got the job.
He's
He's a
also like a
professional.
kung fu master. Like
Oh, he was
anytime somebody
amazing.
would try to turn on him, he could toss anyone like across the room and he could
went-
jump off of a 4-story building.
Like 8 cops with guns, he would just
Yeah.
beat them all to hell. He got
There's
no
a great shot of him like throwing some sort of barricade up against like a row of cops and they all just topple over dramatically. Fantastic.
Although an electrified fence is a little bit too much for him.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
then
you mentioned
the cell that they put him in is no match for him.
Ah!
He literally just crumbles.
that was his one weakness that Kolchak figured out, right?
Yeah.
Electricity, or because but what did he say? Because he didn't have they. How did he figure that out? Was that in
I
the
don't know
letter?
because he found out that they actually got him in maximum security and then all of a sudden he's like, "Yeah, electricity. Find out when the electric chair blah blah blah." And I don't know how he made that connection. I don't know what happened there.
I so another thing I love how Kolchak is such a con man. I mean, he's so dedicated to his craft, to getting the story,
Hmm.
He will resort to anything. Like he's lying to everyone, like his boss especially. What was the one guy he said? Oh, because the one uptight is supposed to have the story, and Kolchak is pretending to do the letter answering job, but really he's doing research on the Ripper.
Hmm.
And he says that uptight is at the library. Oh, but he can't go to the library. He has this elaborate lie. He can't go to the library because he has so many books out. So they have the police after him, and he called uptight a bibliophiliac. He made up
Yeah.
a word
Yeah.
like
What?
a neuroses or whatever. I love that. But he
Right. Like he's just like if he goes to a library, he has to like jack off with a book or something.
Who doesn't?
I mean, the show was a little, it was kind of edgy. I mean, it had the
Yeah.
strippers. He does like hint at, he's kind of flirting with the other, uh, the other writer, and he does kind of hint at other kind of deviant stuff, deviant behavior. But
Wait,
yeah,
like what?
well, I mean, what you were just saying, the or
Oh yeah.
bibliophiliac and I mean, he goes to massage parlor and he plays kind of dumb, like looking at the menu, like, oh, I'll take a number seven, like like all the options they have. Um,
Right. And he gets arrested by an under.
oh, right,
Oh,
by
you're frozen, Josh.
Josh, snap out of it.
Hold up, let me. He probably realizes. Ah, Josh!
Does he have does he have to restart or something?
I don't know. He's doing this from a library because he's a bibliophiliac from a library recording room, and this is kind of a new thing. So I don't know what
Oh,
he's
he's at the
doing.
library right now?
Yeah,
Oh.
jerking off to books. Isn't that right, Josh? Come on.
Should have known. Well, I can plug my Ziggies now.
Yeah,
No,
do it.
oh, geez, I keep. Here's a
You
plain
broke
Ziggy.
another one.
That never. Oh, I know why that one. I have an Etsy page called Today's Excellence, and it's all for sale there. I can make custom Ziggies. If I could make a Kolchak Ziggy,
You
have
should with the little
a little hat up
seersuckers.
there.
Yes. Some sneakers. Joshua. Ah, yeah. So let's see. Uptight is traumatized by trauma. Go figure. He doesn't even see what happens. I'm just going to go as if Josh was here. He doesn't even see it happen. He has a reporter tell him about the body that he saw that the Ripper killed, and he is just fucking about to throw up. He hates it. And, yeah, and they're all like treating him like, what a fucking idiot. I mean, sure, you didn't even see it. You're a reporter. Suck it up, dude.
Yeah, he doesn't have the stomach for this kind of story, which makes you not like him more and makes you want to have, Kolchak back on the case. The
Of
it's a
course.
He was born to cover this, to investigate this, and um,
That's his whole thing. It's like, God damn it, Josh, where are you? I'm sorry. I thought that I saw him and now he's not there.
another episode I watched. It was actually on TV. I think the My Nine, or that's what we call it. They play old movies and they old TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 1 a.m. on a Saturday. They played a Kolchak, and it was called the episode was The Werewolf.
Oh.
And he goes on a cruise ship. But it's funny in the beginning. I think his boss is supposed to go. They're gonna like it's a new. They're gonna like write a story about the cruise ship,
Yeah.
but Kolchak really would like the vacation also.
Of course.
And so he kind of maneuvers to get the job instead of his boss. He kind of has to do some of his con man stuff to
Right, right.
and then he gets on, and then there's all this crazy stuff happening, and they find out that one person on the ship is a werewolf. And it's pretty similar because there's all these chase scenes,
Uh-huh.
werewolf that's like throwing people and can't be
Nice.
stopped.
Do all the monsters have the ability to throw their victims?
That's what I mean. Action seems like a big part of the show. They have these chase. I mean, now I want to watch, a lot more of the show.
Yeah.
Uh, it seems like they. Well, that was the other thing. Like, there was a lot of physical comedy,
Yeah,
and
there
he is
was.
great. He's a great physical comedian. When he like they're going through that house, that crappy house where the guy lives,
Yeah, yeah.
and everything, all the like, banisters and stuff are falling apart, and his foot's going through the
Yeah.
floor.
And he trips through it twice.
He's right. He goes down the stairs at one point, and it's just a lot of fun. Uh,
Him like dragging the bag of letters in his boss's office and he like trips over it as he's trying to. It was beautiful. Perfection. He was great. I loved it.
yeah, yeah, he does a lot of little moments. Like Josh mentioned before, like he throws his hat and it just
Yeah.
hits the wall and then hits the floor. Like he's kind of schlubby. He's kind of like Columbo a little bit.
Yeah.
He has a swagger to him, but he's definitely kind of a schlubby guy.
It's and that whole like deception thing and the schlubby thing is so Rockford to me. They would be besties for sure.
I guess I haven't watched Rockford in a long time. Was he also, well, he was a private eye, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Rockford's a private eye. And and he was always getting in fights, but getting his ass kicked, right? Wasn't he always getting
Yeah.
like punched out?
Yeah, that was the joke that he always got his ass kicked, which is a great joke.
Um, I don't know. Should we just I have a lot more to say. Should we wait for John or
I just texted him and asked him if we should stop and try and start when he gets it figured out, but I haven't heard back. Oh, Joshua. All right. I haven't heard back, so I'm gonna stop the live. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll be back in a little bit, maybe, probably. See you later.